Because it was trending in Instagram, everyone was going to Kamakura. On an average, we were doing 20 to 25k on a daily basis. But they have amazing train system. You have vending machines for underwear, for toys, and they ran out of the locker rooms. So you have to keep in mind that not everyone speaks English. Okay, I couldn't see Mount Fuji.
Whoa, you missed Mount Fuji. Hey guys, welcome to Just Landed. I'm Pranav and we have a special guest with us today, Mr. Sunil, who just landed from a Japan trip. Please introduce yourself, Sunil.
There's nothing much to introduce about myself. I'm quite boring, but if you insist. So my name is Sunil, of course. I've been working in a travel company for last 10 years. I take care of a particular region entirely, sales, supply and everything. And I'm someone who likes to travel. I'm someone who likes to explore. I'm someone who likes to meet new people and learn about their culture, their new places and all those things. And this Japan was my 7th country. Wow. And I wish to continue to travel throughout my life with my partner, of course, and explore the world. Yeah.
That's amazing. Since you said you went to Japan with your wife, what was one romantic location or moment you guys had?
So every location I went with my wife was romantic, and every moment with my wife is romantic. But if I have to say something very specific, I think it was one of the best sunsets we watched. So we went to Nara. We were staying in Osaka, and Nara is very close from Osaka. And the best part about Nara is you just have to take a train, go to Nara, and you can just explore on your own. So we were visiting a lot of temples, and Nara is known for the Nara deers. So we were feeding them all those things. And then we went to this place called Mount Wakakusa, and it was the most magical sunset we could ever watch. So we were sitting on top of the hill, and we had 5-6 more things to see. But as soon as we climbed the hill and we sat on top of it, and there were just deers roaming around, and they were just coming, walking around. They were checking if we had biscuits and all those things, and we could watch the sunset on the Nara city. We just sat there and we just spoke for like 3-4 hours, and I think it was one of the best sunset me and Rachana has ever experienced together.
Beautiful. So when you said you went to Nara, I've always heard that Nara is very crowded. How was it when you visited? Like, was it crowded or was it good?
So one general tip for anyone who wants to visit Nara, there is no entry ticket. There's no specific places you have to go when you want to see the deer. So it's just like a park. So you go to the station, and from the metro station it's like 5-10 minutes walk, and it's a huge park where the deers are roaming around. It gets crowded. It gets extremely crowded. Now 2 things I want to mention here. One, you have to go early morning. So even if you go, because the deers come down from the mountain from 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. when the sun rises. So 5 a.m. is little early, is when the sun rises in Japan. So 5 a.m. is when the deer starts coming down. And so if you can reach there very early, then you can avoid the crowd at all.
Okay. So early meaning at how early are we talking?
So we went there at 6 a.m. and we had the entire park for ourselves. There were hardly some people who were there, and we could explore the park, because the deer which is closer to the park can be a little aggressive, because they are used to people feeding them and all those things, so they might come and bug you and all those things. The deeper you go into the park, you can walk and explore. There you will feel it's more scenic, the deer are more shy, and you can interact with them more, and it's very less crowded.
Okay. One thing which Japan didn't prepare you for
the walking. So you have to do a lot of walking, and it's like on an average we were doing 20 to 25k on a daily basis.
Whoa.
So it's you have to walk a lot. So you have to be prepared, because Japan as a culture, they are very used to public transport. Everywhere we went, it was either by train or metro or tram, but you have to be ready to be walking. So that is something which was little thing which we didn't think that it will matter so much, but when you do it in a 10 days in a row, it does.
Yeah, I've heard that Japan's train system is very crazy and the locals themselves get lost very often. So how did you manage that?
So so Japan trains can be little difficult to navigate, but they have amazing train system. So they have everything. You have bullet train, you have trams, you have local trains, and you have everything possible. In the major cities is where that problem is. For example, when you go to Tokyo, there's this station called Shibuya. Shibuya is like a crazy station. They have like 5 levels below the ground.
5 levels below the ground?
Yeah. So because it's a huge, because because as I mentioned that most of the people commute through metros and through local trains. So it can be a little difficult, but the best part about Japan is that people are very helpful. So you can approach anyone in uniform and you can just go and ask them, and they intentionally put staff at the places where people usually get lost.
Okay, wow.
First and foremost, there are a lot of markings. So if you just follow the markings, you can just reach everywhere. It is written in English. Very clearly, markings are written. Apart from that, staffs are very, very helpful. But it is an experience to get lost in Japan Station as well. So yeah,
You get a fun story.
yeah, you do get a fun story, but then everything is as per schedule, so you don't want to miss your train as well. But it was helpful. It was not that difficult. It was an experience. I would definitely say it was an experience.
Speaking of something fun, what was something fun or unexpected which happened during your trip?
Fun was, so we planned every city across. But as you know, Instagram is your most influential thing about whenever you want to travel. So when we were there, then we knew about this place called Kamakura, which was trending on Instagram, and we wanted to definitely visit that place. So we didn't have enough days, so we tried to fit it in between Hakone and Tokyo. So we had our luggage with us. So our plan was, like, Japan is amazing when you have to store any luggages in the station. So you have automatic locker room where you just pay and you can just store no matter how much luggage you have. So we were going from Hakone to Tokyo. We decided that we'll stop in Kamakura, and we reached Kamakura. And then we realized, because it was trending in Instagram, everyone was going to Kamakura, and they ran out of the locker rooms. So they couldn't, there were so many people who were traveling to Kamakura that all the locker rooms were filled. But as Japan being nicest and most polite people, the tourism department decided that they will keep some luggages in their office. But the catch was that the tourist office closes at 5 p.m. So
When did you guys reach it?
we reached around noon or 1 o'clock is when we reached, and we had to keep our luggage, and they said that they close at 5 o'clock, so we have to be there.
Yeah, you have to run back.
So then we were running everywhere, and we did the entire thing. It was just very hectic, but it was still amazing and an experiencing. And then we ran back and we got our luggage, and then we went to Tokyo. So that was something which was unexpected and a little bit fun.
Okay, crazy. So when you said the people were very polite and everything, so were there any challenges over there with language?
So you have to keep in mind that not everyone speaks English. Okay, so you can find people in reception, hotel reception speaking English. Any touristy place you will go, you will find guides speaking English. Those people speaking English. But if you are even going to a ticket station or train station, they don't speak English. So but it is manageable. I didn't find it very difficult. But again, Japanese people being Japanese people, they were very, very polite. They were very, very helpful. A lot of times where I struggled with language, they went out of their way to help us. Okay. So that way they were very, very welcoming. So overall, I didn't have much of a problem with it.
So did you try any local food, any mishaps with food or something?
Yes, we did try a lot of food. So there is this thing called Takoyaki. It's like, to the Tamil audience, they can relate. We have something called as paniyaram.
Yeah.
So it's a paniyaram, but they have a octopus piece inside the paniyaram.
Wow.
So
you tried octopus?
Yeah, it was
Oh
amazing.
my god.
So I went in November, so it was slightly cold and chilly, and we were walking around the streets to do shopping, and they make it. It's like a street food, so they make it on this thing, and you just buy from there. It was very hot. If it's cooked in a way that it's steamed and cooked, so that way it was very hot, and it was amazing. It was really nice. So that
where and all did you go, and how did you decide those cities or those places in Japan?
we visited the major places like Osaka, Kyoto, Tokyo, of course. Apart from that, some places we kept for relaxing, like Kanazawa was one of the places which we figured out. We did some research and we figured out because we wanted some easygoing, and November being the start of the autumn, so Kanazawa was it has one of the most beautiful gardens. So Japan is again known for gardens. When we went to the garden, we saw all the autumn leaves. It was just breathtaking. So that was one place. And Hakone is known for onsen. So we kept Hakone and Kanazawa for relaxing. Apart from that, Osaka, Kyoto and Tokyo were the major cities which we visited.
How did you and your wife balance different interests during your trip?
My wife's interest is my interest. No, I think it was a very free-flowing itinerary. We didn't want to keep anything planned. One thing where my wife is very much interested is cafes. She just loves cafes and coffees. And Japan is like a paradise for people who love coffee and people who like cafes. So we explored every major cafes, and we decided we will not keep breakfast included in any of our hotel because we wanted to just go out and explore. So that is something which she really liked. I had some of my things put into it, like Japan is known for its watch culture. I definitely wanted to visit some of the famous places where we can see watches. She wanted to purchase some cosmetics. I think it was mix and match of everything put together. So we balanced it out, way of talking and
Interesting. Okay, any souvenirs, special souvenirs you got back from Japan?
yeah, to talk about watch, I think I got this Seiko chronograph.
Wow, crazy.
Seiko is one of the most famous watch brands from Japan, and it's a very, very good watch brand. So I have this thing of that whichever country I visit, I want to buy one watch from there, and it's very price competitive. So if you buying the same watch in India, it is like 25% cheaper in Japan. So that was one of the most interesting souvenirs.
The
which
watch
I got.
looks really good, by the way. Any cultural misunderstandings?
I won't say misunderstandings, but there are some cultural things which you'll have to keep in mind when you go to Japan. For example, you have to keep your phone on silent when you're on metro. You can't talk in the metro. You can't talk loud. You can't eat in the metro. When you're carrying your backpack in metro, the general practice is that you put your backpack in front of you.
Okay.
And why do you think that would be?
I have no idea.
Because when it is behind you, you can't see where your backpack is and you might hit someone. So you have to keep it in front of you.
So, and everyone follows this.
Everyone follows it.
And what happens if you don't?
I think it is not, they don't follow it for the sake of following it. They don't follow it because someone will see and fine it. I think it's built into their cultural itself. And the entire society is built on trust basis. To give you an example, we were in Kanazawa and we were walking through some streets. Some houses, what they do is, they'll put a shop outside their house. Okay, they'll put some souvenirs and there will be a board, 100 yen, and you can pick up any of the souvenir you want. And there will be no one standing there and monitoring who is paying, who is not paying. The society, that they trust the society enough that the person will pay and then they will pick up the souvenir. So it is that way. That is something which culturally shocked us a lot.
Okay, one thing you regret doing?
I regret not spending enough time in Japan. That is one thing. The other regret is I couldn't see Mount Fuji.
Whoa, you missed Mount Fuji.
Yeah, even when the first time I went to Japan, I couldn't see Mount Fuji.
Oh my
Second time also, I couldn't see Mount Fuji. And what the local told is that Mount Fuji is usually visible during winters. So during summers, it is little difficult to spot Mount Fuji. But if you definitely want to see Mount Fuji, then you should go during winters. That is the best time to spot Mount Fuji. So that is one regret which will always be there.
Damn, no, that's going to cost you another expensive trip to go. What's something about Japan no one warned you about?
Taxis are very expensive in Japan. The culture in Japan is everyone travels through metro and trains. When we were out in the city, there is something called as a last train culture in Japan. So the last train leaves from for example, in Tokyo, from the main station to your resident places, the last train will leave around 10:30 time. If you miss that train, the next train is at 5 a.m. Okay, so you decide that are you going to stay out and party whole night till 5 a.m. or you decide you take the last train and go. Oh. That is the one thing which we never knew. We thought we might take cab or something, but that's very expensive.
So did you guys have any party experience like that?
No, we're not like a party people, but we really liked city square kind of a thing where people come, they do shopping, you have street food, you have street performers, you have people showing off their cars, like how you see in Tokyo Drift.
Whoa,
so
that's cool.
Yeah, when I went to Shibuya Crossing where the main Need for Speed Tokyo Drift thing happens, so there you can see that people, of course young people like Gen Z people, they'll come in their fancy cars, they will pop up their hood and they will just show off, they will rev, all those things will be happening. So you don't have to go party, but the nightlife itself with the neon lights and everything is just amazing, and just walk around the city whole night.
One must pack item for a Japan trip.
You should have good walking shoes because you have to do a lot of walking. As I mentioned, you have to walk like 20-25k steps, so you should have proper walking shoes which you should do. Apart from that, clothes wise, don't pack anything. You just go there and you can buy, because Japan Tourism Board has this thing called where the tourists don't have to pay taxes, so you get instant discount in terms of taxes. Any brand you pick it up, H&M, Levi's, Zara, or any brand you pick it up, you get very good discounts there. So I would recommend that you keep the shopping for the first day itself, because most of our shopping, what we wore in Japan, we bought it in Japan only, because it was that cheap, and the style and the fashion is very, very different. So that is
So
something.
like when you tell the prices are much affordable in Japan, like how much is the difference?
Around 40%. So that's a huge difference, because that's the tax. They don't collect tax at all.
Budget wise, how much did your trip cost? How did you plan out your budget over there?
So budget wise, if you plan it in advance, I don't think it can become very expensive. You have to be mindful. As I mentioned, if you cut down on the taxi and if you take trains and all those things, I think you can do it in 2 lakh per person, 2.5 lakhs per person, if you are able to plan it well in advance. And food is not expensive. So one best thing about Japan is if you're buying a food from a local vendor, or you go to a good restaurant, the food cost remains same, because the quality of the food remains same across anywhere you go. So that way it is, food wise it is not that expensive, but if you can prepare much in advance, that way it will be much more easier for you to balance your budget.
One thing which was very common around Japan.
I think the vending machine. You can see vending machines everywhere in Japan, because standing in a queue is very, very normal in Japan. So we went to this place in Hakone, the Hakone shrine. It's a shrine which is in the middle of the lake. Okay, so of course you want to take photo in front of the shrine, and there is a queue to take the photo. And we stood in that queue for almost an hour. Yeah, queues are very, very common. So Japanese people started with this vending machine. They started with giving tickets and things where the queues were very high. And that's how it became popular. And now everywhere you can see vending machine. You have vending machine for ice cream. You have vending machine for chocolates. Normal. You have vending machines for underwear. You have vending machine for toys. You have vending machine for absolutely everything.
Anything and everything.
Everything. Even if you can buy iPhone with vending machine.
iPhones.
You have vending machines for everywhere. Everything.
One hack or info someone should know before planning their Japan trip.
I think you can opt for a lot of the times. Of course, Japan is known for very small rooms. When you're staying in cities like Tokyo or Osaka, it can be very expensive, and you might end up only staying in a matchbox kind of a hotel. So you can opt for B&Bs. You can opt for some homestays. Those are some of the, because you get the space also, and it is pocket friendly as well. So that is something which will be helpful.
Has this trip changed how you'll approach future travels together?
I think the best way to travel is when you customize it the way you want it, because you don't want to visit every must-see thing, correct? It might not interest you. That you should not travel anywhere thinking that I want to cover these 5 things. It should be more like a free-flowing, that you go there, you get the feel, you get the vibe of the place. If you don't like it, you might want to go somewhere else. So I think Japan was the first destination for us where we wanted to explore this, and we really enjoyed it. The way that we were not tied down saying that you have to do this thing at this point, this thing at that point, the way that we could customize it the way we wanted it, it is something which has changed. We started thinking the next vacations also should be like this one.
Really curious question. Why didn't you plan your trip during cherry blossom season?
Cherry blossom, it's very crowded. So we wanted to be a very, very relaxed and very chill vacation. So we didn't want to plan. And of course, the perk you get when you plan off season is it's little budget friendly also. Because cherry blossom, entire world wants to travel to Japan. So it's very difficult to find accommodation, and the costs are very high. It's very crowded. So that is why we thought we'll keep it. And not many people know, but there is a cherry blossom season in Japan, and there is autumn season in Japan. Even autumn is very beautiful. Not a lot of people travel during autumn foliage, but it is actually very nice thing which people can do.
And speaking of budget, how much did your visa cost? Was it like very expensive? Was it a hard process?
So visa, comparatively, Japan gives you the best visa because they have made it very, very easy. For example, if you're looking to travel to Europe, so if you look at Schengen, it's somewhere around 10k per person visa fee. If you look at UK, it's around 10k per person. But to Japan, it is just 500 rupees.
500?
Yeah, it's just 500 rupees for the visa, and VFS charges around 2000, 2500, and it's extremely good and it's extremely very
great,
smooth.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
That is one biggest advantage where people have.
Did you face any challenges with respect to food, like for people who are vegetarians who are looking to travel? Is it hard for them or is it manageable? What would you suggest?
It's actually absolutely not a issue at all because there's a stigma that if you go to Japan, the food can be a challenge because of their heating habits and everything. But essentially, across the world, anywhere you go, you will be able to find an Indian restaurant. So Indian restaurant is not a challenge at all. In veg also they have a lot of options. So in my case, I eat everything possible. But my wife is non-veg, but she doesn't eat.
Very selective.
Not apart from fish and chicken, she doesn't eat anything. But we didn't have much of an issue over there. I think it is very much possible for anyone. Even Jain foods were very easily available. So that's not a problem at all.
Oh, so there were like proper dedicated Indian restaurants as well.
Yes, across Tokyo you will find n number of all the major cities. You will find n number of Indian restaurants. You will find people migrated from India and they are settled there for last 20 years, 25 years.
Okay, so you were able to spot few Indians over there.
Yeah, exactly. It's people from Kerala, people from
Wow.
even Nepalese people or Bangladeshi people. And because the crowd, actually the other thing is Japanese people like Indian food. So every Indian restaurant, so we visited 1 or 2 Indian restaurants. We saw a lot of Japanese people enjoying.
Okay.
But of course the Indian food is not as spicy because Japanese people are not used to spicy food. But yeah, it was good. It was a good experience.
One overrated place in Japan.
Overrated place in Japan. So there is this bamboo forest, Arishiyama bamboo forest in Japan, in Kyoto. So we were keen on going to that place, and when I did my research, essentially everywhere in Japan you will have to go a little early in the morning to avoid crowd. So I planned a way that I booked my stay next to the Arishiyama bamboo forest, and we went there around 5:30 a.m. But trust me, even 5 a.m. it's crowded over there.
5 a.m.
Yeah, because the bamboo forest is not that, the walk is only 200 or 300 meters if I'm not wrong. So it's not a long walk, so it's like jam packed with people. It's very difficult to get photos, and it was not worth the hype.
Okay, so there was nothing even to see over there. It was not worth the hype.
Yeah, so you walk, you get there, then the bamboo forest starts. You start and it just ends in 10 minutes. So it was, I don't think it was worth that much of an effort.
One place you have to book much advance.
Yeah, so we kept our itinerary free flowing. But there is this TeamLab museum in Japan. It's very interactive museum. It's a very modern museum. They have different rooms where they have different concepts, where it's very interactive. For example, there is one room where you can see rain. They have illustrated rain falling, and if you just go stand on the wall. So let's suppose if this is the wall, if I keep my hand like this, the rain will fall on my hand. It will. So it was amazing. It was very beautiful. But the only catch is you have to book at least TeamLab museum at least 1 month in advance.
Okay.
At least 1 month in advance.
And how much did the tickets cost?
Tickets around 8K if I'm not wrong. 8K around that range, but the availability is the challenge. So the museum is built for you to get lost in it. Okay, there's no maps, there's no this thing. Sometimes it's dark. You enter one room, they try to show how life is formed on Earth. You enter something else, they show space. So it is essentially built for people to go around and get lost in that museum. So there's no time bound. So it's not necessarily like you go and you have to come back within 1 hour. You can spend like 6-7 hours also into the museum. So we ended up spending 3.5 hours. We enjoyed visiting, and the best part about it is if you go into one room, there will be different art which is being showed. You come back, you finish and come back, and there will be different art. So it's always, so that way they are not restricting people coming in, but the tickets get sold out.
Okay.
So if you're planning to go there and book, it is not possible at all.
Okay.
So you have to book that one in advance.
Did you experience anything like a local over there?
Yeah, so that was one of the best stays. So it's called tatami stays. Okay. It's like their traditional house, wooden house.
Did you wear the kimonos and all?
Yeah, we did wear kimonos. That is, you can do a separate kimono experience as well. With regards to this stay in Kyoto, so in Kyoto you have a lot of options where you stay in traditional, like how you see in anime, how you see in their Japanese dramas and all those things. It was actually someone's house.
So it's like a homestay.
Yeah, it was a homestay. And the concept in Japan is everyone has a garden. Okay, so they are very much, they want to be as close as to the nature. So even that homestay, they had a open courtyard, and there was a small garden in that courtyard. It was amazing. So there's no actual beds. So they have a mat and you just sleep on the floor. It was a good experience. I think that was one of the best. Sliding doors, the ancient arts. That was one of the best days. And the host was also very welcoming. Like when we checked in, he told us what this room is used for, what that room is used for, how you can experience and all those things. That was really nice.
Okay, great. If you can beautifully summarize your Japan trip in one Bollywood song, what song would it be?
So, if I have to describe Japan, see, there is, of course, Japan is known for cosmetics. So, there's this particular shop where you can get good cosmetics called Donkito. And they have a theme song called Donkito. But that kept playing in my mind in loop when I came back from Japan. And every time we hear that, it reminds me of Japan for me and Rachna. Yeah.
So you experienced Japan with your wife. You also went there individually. So if you had to visit Japan again, which way would you prefer to travel?
Of course, with my wife. So there is no second questioning about it. But yeah, of course, with my wife. But I essentially want to take my parents as well.
Okay.
So that is something which I would want to do in future, where we visit as a family, because it's a very family-friendly destination. So it's actually Japan is very much kid-friendly. Everywhere you can take your stroller. It is very much old people-friendly because it's accessible. Wheelchair is accessible. So that is something which I want my parents also to experience.
Hopefully you get to see Mount Fuji at least then.
Yeah, at least the third time is the charm. Yeah. So they, in their culture, when I was complaining about that I couldn't see Mount Fuji for the second time also, the people were telling me then Japan wants you to come back. So that is one part which I have missed.
You should take that as a sign.
Yeah, of course.
So this is the closing segment of our podcast, and the current guest has to leave a question to our next guest.
Okay.
So what question are you going to leave?
Okay, I hope the next guest has also traveled with someone. So what did you learn new about that person you traveled with?
Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you had great fun watching this. We'll be back with a cooler guest from a cooler destination very soon. Please do subscribe to Pick Your Trail.